I want you to try a little thought experiment with me, just for a second. Imagine that for the next 24 hours, there's a camera crew following you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I don't mean like a reality TV crew trying to catch some drama. I mean a quiet, observant documentary crew. And they're recording everything,
Everything, even the boring stuff.
especially the boring stuff. Every sigh when you walk in the door, the way you scroll on your phone when your spouse is talking, every little corner you cut at work thinking, no one's going to notice.
And now you're going to tell me that footage is being live streamed.
Exactly. Live streamed directly to the people who matter most. Your kids, your team, your friends. And the question becomes, if they copied exactly what they saw you do, where would they end up?
That is a terrifying thought. And it's also the perfect hook for the material we're covering today.
It really is. We are doing a deep dive into a speech by a woman named Robin Wilson. It's called Premier Kickoff 2023. And full disclosure, it was given to a room of people in the car business, salespeople, mechanics.
But, and this is a huge but, it has nothing to do with cars. So if you're listening and thinking, I don't sell cars, please do not tune out.
Not at all. She's
Yeah.
really mapping out this huge psychological journey.
She's talking about the shift from what she calls a scarcity mindset, which, well, gets programmed into a lot of us as kids, to an abundance mindset.
And she argues that that shift is the only real path to becoming a leader. And not leader as in, the boss with the title.
No, leader as in anyone who is being watched. And as we just established with that camera crew idea, we are all being watched all the time.
So this deep dive is going to take us to some really interesting places. We're talking about eating food that looks like dog food, the secret history of Thomas Edison.
And an organized crime ring involving stolen soda bottles.
Can't forget that one. But she starts with her own origin story. And honestly, it's pretty brutal. She grew up in Bakersfield, California, in what she calls extreme poverty.
Yeah, she really doesn't sugarcoat it. She describes this time it was pre-food stamps, where her family would get what she called a poverty box.
Right, from a metal shed in the neighborhood.
And the details here are what really paint the picture of this mindset. It wasn't a box of groceries. It was just random stuff, corn syrup, a loaf of white bread.
And that one detail that really got me, this canned meat that she said looked like Alpo.
Eating something that looks like dog food as a kid, I mean, that has to do something to your wiring.
It's got to create a baseline of just survival. She said the highlight of her year was back to school shopping at Goodwill.
The excitement of getting someone else's hand-me-downs, and that whole story sets up her first really big point. There's a huge difference between being poor and having a poverty mindset.
Okay, let's break that down. Because I think most people would say those are the same thing.
Right, but they're not. Economic poverty is it's a number in a bank account. It can be temporary. A poverty mindset or a scarcity mindset, that's your brain's operating system.
It's the belief that there's never enough,
Yeah.
that you're lucky to just get by.
And that abundance is something for other people, not for you. And you can climb out of financial poverty, you can make more money, but that mindset, it follows you. It's like a ghost in the machine.
And she has the perfect analogy for this, the lottery winner paradox.
Oh, this is so good. We've all read the stories, right? The person living paycheck to paycheck wins, say, $30 million.
And then, 2 years later, they're bankrupt and back in a trailer, and we all laugh at them.
We do. We say, oh, they were so stupid with their money. But Wilson says it's not about stupidity. It's about identity. She says that winner never changed the big muscle in his cranium.
His internal thermostat was still set to scarcity.
Exactly. So when his reality suddenly became massive abundance, his subconscious it panicked. It worked overtime to sabotage everything until his bank account matched his internal setting again.
Wow. It's like his own mind rejected the wealth.
It's an immune response. And she connects this directly to her audience. Apparently, 2022 was like a lottery year in the car business. Huge profits, massive paychecks.
Ease of money. But then 2023 hit. Interest rates went up, the market changed.
The bus comes to a screeching halt, is how she puts it. And her point is, the people who saved that money, who had an abundance mindset, they're fine.
But the people with the scarcity mindset,
They spent every penny. And now they're right back to living paycheck to paycheck. They were just renting abundance.
So if this scarcity software is so destructive and so hard to uninstall, we have to ask, who puts it there in the first place?
Wilson calls them the first leaders, or my personal favorite, the big minions.
Our parents, with
Yeah.
little minions just following them around.
Yep. And she lists these little phrases that become our programming code. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Do you think I'm made of money?
Or the really dangerous one. We may be poor, but at least we're good people.
Oof. That one has a hidden dagger in it, doesn't it?
It's deep moral coding. It teaches a child that wealth is somehow connected to being bad. So if you want to be a good person, you subconsciously hold yourself back from success.
You don't want to become one of those people.
Exactly. So after the parents, we get handed off to the second leaders, teachers, coaches, and this is where she gets into the power of labels.
This part was amazing.
Oh.
She tells a story about her teacher, Mrs. Zandes. And Mrs. Zandes wrote something on her report card.
Something that defined her. It said, Robin has real leadership abilities.
Which is great.
If she could only learn to use them for good and not for evil.
Good and not for evil. What was she, 8 years old? Planning world domination from the sandbox.
We're getting to that, but look what the label did. It didn't say she was bossy. It said she was a leader. So she internalized that. She was a leader. The evil part was just a choice, a direction she could go.
And she contrasts that with other kids who get stuck with these destruction labels, like the class clown.
Right, she talks about Deshonda, the funny girl. The label says she's distracting. So Deshonda thinks my job is to be the entertainment.
And 30 years later, she's in a big meeting, and she doesn't speak up with a serious idea because I'm just the funny one.
Or Beto, the shy kid. He's labeled quiet, so he learns to be invisible. He learns that's how you stay safe. It really makes you question how much of your personality is you and how much is just a role you were assigned in third grade.
To really hammer this home, she tells the Thomas Edison story. Now, I've heard this before, but her framing of the mother as a filter, it hit differently.
It's such a great story. Young Tom Edison comes home with a sealed letter from his teacher. Only your mother can read this.
So he gives it to her. She opens it, her eyes fill with tears, and she reads it out loud.
She reads, your son is a genius. This school is too small for him. Please train him yourself.
And boom, his label is genius. He grows up believing it. He invents the light bulb, changes the world.
But then, years later, his mom has passed away. He's going through old family papers, and he finds that original letter. He opens it.
And what did it really say?
It said, your son is mentally deficient. We cannot let him attend our school anymore. He is expelled.
Mentally deficient. Wow.
That twist gives me chills every time. Imagine if she'd read him the real letter. The world would be a darker place, literally.
Her point is that his mom intercepted a destruction label and replaced it with an excellence label.
And the challenge to us is, are you just accepting the labels the world gives you? Or are you being your own filter? Are you rewriting the letter?
Speaking of rewriting reality, she tells this really personal story about her own childhood, about how she saw herself.
Yes, with her half-siblings, they were part Native American, so they were, dark-skinned and very slender.
And then there was Robin, blonde hair, blue eyes, and as she says, chubby.
Right. And neighbors would come over and pinch her cheeks and go, oh, you're so cute and chubby. So in her little kid brain, she created an equation.
Chubby equals cute and healthy.
And skinny, like her sister, equals ugly and sick. She literally thought her beautiful sister was ugly.
Which brings us back to Mrs. Zandes and her evil leadership prediction. Because Robin admits she weaponized this. She'd get in fights with her sister and yell.
You're just jealous because you're ugly and skinny. I mean, it's terrible, but it's such a perfect example of a kid's warped logic.
But the evil leadership didn't stop there. We have to talk about the soda bottle heist.
This is where Shady Robin comes out to play.
Okay, so this is the early 70s. Soda comes in glass bottles, and each empty bottle is worth a nickel.
And families would just leave the empty crates on their back porch. Now, most kids might steal a whole crate. But Robin, at 7, with her brother, they have a better plan.
It's an incredible scheme. You don't take the whole crate because someone will notice.
No, you go to every single neighbor's porch and you take just one bottle from each crate.
It's distributed sourcing. It's brilliant risk management.
It is. And they'd cash them in and buy burgers and ice cream. But the reason she tells the story isn't just to be funny.
Right. It's to prove that leadership is a neutral skill. It's like a hammer.
You can build a house with it, or you can break a window. Robin had the raw skill. She could organize, influence, execute a plan. She just didn't have the integrity yet. She was operating from scarcity. I want that, so I'll take it.
And this is where she pivots to the adults in the room, to her actual audience. She basically says, stop waiting for a title. You are already a leader.
This is the integrity trap. She uses the example of a new mechanic starting at a car dealership. He's nervous. He just wants to fit in. Who does he watch?
The veteran. The guy has been there 20 years.
Exactly. And if that veteran cuts corners or skips a safety check or lies to a customer, what does the new guy do?
He copies it. He assumes that's the path to success here.
The veteran just led the new guy down a path of mediocrity. The culture isn't what's on the poster in the lobby. It's what the veterans let the rookies get away with.
And she brings this home too, which I think is where it gets really uncomfortable for a lot of us. The dad at the dinner table example.
Yeah. You walk in the door after a long day. You have a choice. You can say, man, we solved a tough problem today. I'm proud of my team.
Or you can slump down and say, my boss is an idiot. The customers are morons. I hate this place.
And the kids, their ears are stuck everywhere, she says. They're listening. And you are teaching them that work is misery. You are leading their future relationship with their own careers.
That's a really heavy thought. So if that's the negative example, she gives a positive one. And it involves a pickle suit.
The pickle suit, Scott Lehman, the guy who runs the event, a super successful businessman. But Robin highlights him dressing up in a giant pickle costume to go read to kindergartners.
Man, from a pure business perspective, what's the ROI on that?
0. Kindergartners do not buy cars. But from an abundance perspective, it's everything. It's leadership. It's giving without expecting a transaction. She mentions he also bought a bus for a local church just because they needed one.
So the message is you don't have to be the CEO to metaphorically wear the pickle suit.
Exactly. You can lead from right where you are. But, and this is a big but, when you start to change, when you start to operate from abundance, not everyone in your life is going to be cheering for you.
Which brings us to the crabs in a bucket.
Such a perfect and kind of sad analogy. You put one crab in a bucket, it'll climb right out. Easy.
But if you put a bunch of crabs in there and one starts to climb,
the others will literally reach up, grab its legs, and pull it back down into the pile.
If I can't get out, you can't get out.
And that is what happens socially. When you decide to stop complaining, to read a book, to go for a promotion, you become a mirror. Your growth highlights their stagnation, and that makes them uncomfortable.
So they try to pull you back down. They say things like, oh, look at you getting all ambitious, or you think you're better than us now.
And these are often people we love. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's fear that you're leaving them.
So what's the advice? Do you just cut them all off?
Her advice is really practical. She says, don't ruin Thanksgiving.
I like that.
You don't have to make some big announcement. You just have to identify the behavior in your own head. When your uncle makes a snarky comment about your new diet, you just think, that's a crab move. And you emotionally disengage. You stop needing their approval.
Because, and this is maybe the single most powerful line in the whole speech, there is only one person who is ultimately responsible for you.
She says, nobody is crawling in that casket with you.
It just stops you cold. It's morbid, but it's clarifying.
Well, it strips away every excuse. Your boss isn't getting in there with you. Your parents aren't. Your spouse isn't. At the end of the day, it's just you.
No one can force you to read the book. No one can force you to go to the gym or to be the person who acts with integrity when no one's watching.
You are leading yourself. And it's either down a path of excellence or a path of destruction. There is no middle ground.
It really all comes back to the beginning. The poverty box, the labels from teachers, the soda heist. It's all about what operating system you choose to run in your own ed.
It is. The real work is a private discipline. It's auditing your own thoughts. Are you still running software installed by a stressed out parent 30 years ago? Are you living a life based on a label from a teacher who didn't even know you?
You have to become your own Edison's mom. You have to find that letter that says deficient and choose to read it as genius.
And when you start to do that, you realize the weight of your own example. You realize your soda bottle moments, the little cheats, are teaching the people watching you something.
And your pickle soup moments, your acts of service, are teaching them something else entirely.
Robin Wilson ended her speech with a question that I think is the perfect place for us to end. It was really more of a challenge. She looked at the audience and she said,
someone is following you. Where will you lead them?
And that's the question, isn't it? If your life is the map someone else is using, does it lead somewhere worth going?
That's the work. Check your labels, watch out for the crabs, and remember, the camera's always rolling. Thanks for diving in with us.
Lead yourself well.
We'll see you in the next deep dive.